What's up, YouTube? Here we are back again with another video. It's your boy Thomas getting ready to tell you some truth. This week, uh, just a few things to talk about. First of all, obviously, the impeachment saga is over, supposedly. Whatever you want to call it, the debacle, the hoax, whatever. The inquiry is done. And now the Democrats are, most of them, are backpedaling because there was nothing found. It's just gotten ridiculous. And now everyone wants an investigation done into Joe Biden and his son. So we'll see where that goes. So impeachment's done. It's over. It's not going to happen. Alright, moving on. The thing that I really wanted to talk about, which I saw, gosh, Yahoo is terrible. They're so biased. So far left. Every single story that they run is literally extremely far left, or woke culture, PC culture, whatever you want to call it. But I saw this article and I knew it was because it was just everything's assumed or allegedly, you know, this happened or that happened. We're going to talk about America's Got Talent, some truth behind America's Got Talent. Now, it really was kind of shocking to fans that Heidi and Mel B left the show. So they brung in a couple other, I don't know why they left, but each to their own, you know. They probably just got tired of doing it for so long. But then they brung in AGT Union and Julian Hough, which I didn't know who they were. Like most Americans didn't even know who they were, because I kept asking around and nobody knew who these two were. Even the young people didn't even know who they were. I was asking my kids and their friends, and nobody knew who they were. Eventually found out who they were. But anyways, there was apparently they're leaving the show after one season because supposedly they were causing an uproar. And interviews done with Howie and Simon and several of the cast and crew said that they were really problematic, is how they put it. These two were complaining and griping about everything. Jay Leno came on there and said some type of joke about a picture with Simon and his dogs, talking about, them being dog meat for like overseas or something, for Korea or something, and they threw a fit about it, made a big deal about it. So what? That's so dumb. That joke's been around for years. Everybody knows about, in Asian culture that they sometimes eat dog, get over it. It's the dumbest crap ever. But there were all kinds of complaints about their hairs, how they kept doing weird crap with their hair all the time, and all kinds of other stuff. It's ridiculous. But the writer, the Yahoo writer put on there, allegedly and assumed and hearsay crap, They don't even know the truth. They're just making shit up. And it was just ridiculous. I was like, well, obviously the problem's gone if that was really what was going on. You know, if they were really complaining, griping that much. You know, some of these some of these younger dancers, actresses, or whatever, Hollywood types, they get paid buku money, but then they want to complain and gripe about everything. I could understand to an extreme them starting to complain, but they're getting paid buku money to do it. So it's like little spoiled brats, and it's just ridiculous. I'm tired of hearing that crap from the Hollywood. It's just ridiculous, and that's the problem with Hollywood today. They're a lot of brats. They're getting paid buku money, and they want to express their opinions to everybody and expect everyone to follow them and wait on them hand and foot. It's just, give me a break. Grow up. Anyways, moving on. I got around to watching the new movie called Good Boys. It's about 3 kids, supposedly, doing preteen stuff or elementary crap and getting into trouble and stuff like that. And it wasn't anything like that, really. It was literally all about sex. You have these 3 10-year-old boys, and it's all about sex. Everything's said. They've got sexual toys. They talk about sex constantly. Doing this to women and boys and blah, blah, blah. Constantly through the whole movie. It's sick. Whoever the writer was, it wasn't funny. It was sickening. To watch these 10-year-old boys talk about sex through the whole movie. It was pathetic. It was a horrible, horrible movie. It was not funny in the least. Way 2 thumbs down for that. Don't even bother. Don't waste your time. I shouldn't have myself. It was dumb. And then also got around to watching the new the 3rd installment of the Fallen series. Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen. I just got around done watching Angel Has Fallen. Gerald Butler's great in it. Of course, Morgan Freeman's good as well. It's a decent flick, action flick. I mean, there's no hurrah about it, but it's it was good to watch. It was a good watch. So if you like action flicks, Olympus was really great. London Has Fallen wasn't too bad. It was decent. This one was really good too. It wasn't bad at all. It was pretty decent. My only complaint is, I don't know, the black woman who was the lead FBI agent, she's literally got all these facts right in front of her that literally shows that someone's setting him up. Anyone in their right mind could tell that he was being set up. But they made it look like she had to play the bitch, like, fuck you, I don't care, we got our man because all the evidence says so, blah, blah, blah. That was a little messed up, but other than that, the movie was pretty good. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's a great watch. Go ahead and watch it. Check it out. Anyways, that's all I had to talk about before we begin our B-movie reviews. Let's go ahead and get on to those. Alright, movie holics, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Last week was horror week. This week is action week. So we're doing some action flicks this time. Now I went with the series. I think there are a franchise kind of There's a series of them. I think there's 5 of them, maybe 6 if you count the new one. Bruce Willis just did a new version of this series of movies. It wasn't bad. It was all right for what it was. Go ahead and check it out. The series is called The Death Wish. I've seen the new one with Bruce Willis. Like I said, it's not bad. But I went back to the original Death Wish done in 1974. And I figured I'd start watching those. The first Death Wish, 1974, it made about $22 million. Which wasn't bad for back then. It starred Charles Bronson and Vincent Gardenia. Vincent played the New York detective who was trying to find out who the vigilante was. Now, at the very beginning of the movie, there wasn't a leading actress because they took out both the females right off the bat. The very beginning of the movie, Charles Bronson is on vacation with his wife, and then they roll through the credits because they come back to New York. Now, Charles Bronson has this job where he deals with real estate. He tries to help his clients get a better deal out of the real estate. He investigates what would be best, how to build it, and blah 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 to save the max amount of money. That's his job. Anyways, at the very beginning of the movie, he goes to work. His wife and his daughter are out grocery shopping when these 3 thugs or hoodlums, whatever you want to call them, it's New York, they're not part of a gang really. I was kind of shocked though to see a very young Jeff Goldblum as one of the muggers or the thugs or whatever. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, I didn't realize he was in this. Or, man, he's pretty young in this. But yeah, he was actually the worst one out of the group too. Jeff Goldblum, before he was famous. Anyways, these 3 thugs or whatever, they follow his wife and his daughter back to their apartment. They beat the shit out of his wife and kill her. And then they proceeded to beat the shit out of his daughter and rape her. His daughter can't cope with it. She goes into like this catatonic state, and she's kind of reversed into herself. She don't want to speak to anybody. She freaks out over the littlest things, that kind of thing. So she's pretty traumatized by the whole thing. His son-in-law tries to keep him informed of what's going on, but he's kind of an idiot too. Now, Charles Bronson, he don't really show any emotion, like, you know, like it really bothered him that much. He basically just goes back to work like everything's hunky-dory, except for the fact, you know, you can tell he's angry. He's upset because the police can't find these thugs. So he kind of takes matters into his own hands. Now, he don't know anything about the thugs. He you know, I guess they got really good descriptions of them, but other than that, that's it. But he doesn't really go out per se to look for the actual thugs that did the crime. You know, apparently he knows how to use a weapon. He was taught by his father. He's given a gift by a friend that's a gun. He goes out late at night. He starts basically hunting for muggers is what he's hunting for. His first one, the guy pulls a gun on him. He pulls his gun out and shoots him before he can shoot him. Kills him. And then he goes back home and he's like puking his guts up, you know, he's shaking real bad. He can't believe he did that, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. And then he goes out and does it again. And he does it several more times. However, he keeps saving people's lives every time he does it. So, this detective, this New York detective that's trying to hunt him down, figures out, you know, what he's doing and figures out he's a vigilante. Nobody would tell him who's doing the killing because he keeps saving people's lives. The commissioner and the mayor eventually call him to like a little meeting or whatever and tell him, hey, crime for mugging is like way down. We don't want this guy to be a martyr. We don't want to bring him in and arrest him. We just want him to stop. Convince him to stop and leave town. And then tell the press that we just can't seem to find this guy. That way they can keep the crime down. So he puts the New York detective, he puts pressure on Charles Bronson and tells him, you know, if you don't leave town, we will eventually come after you. This is your only and final warning. So Charles Bronson, he stops, he leaves town, goes to Chicago. And that's the end of the movie. It was really good. It wasn't bad at all. I actually thought it was better than the new one, to be honest. I give it 2 thumbs up. Check it out. It's really a good movie. Now, I moved on and decided to watch the sequel as well. So Death Wish 2 was done in 1982. And this actually had a leading lady. Jill Ireland was the leading lady who played Charles Bronson's girlfriend. And of course Vincent was back in this one as well. It did about 16 million at the box office. Again, which wasn't too bad for back then. It did fairly decent. In this one, I would have thought they would have started off in Chicago. Chicago's pretty bad about crime as well, you know, being a big city and all. But apparently, they didn't do that. For some odd reason, he decided to move to LA because that's where his now current girlfriend lives. So he moves out to LA. Now, his daughter's still in a catatonic state, sort of. I mean, she's not really talkative. But she's showing signs of improvement. You know, she's smiling, nodding, shaking her head, and that kind of stuff. So him and his girlfriend go and pick her up at the hospital she's staying at. Still a mental ward. And they decide to take her out to, like, amusement park or something at the beginning of the movie. Now he gets in line to get her some ice cream or something at one point in time, and you know, he walks by, you know, a group of guys who are thugs or whatever, and it's just ridiculous. that there's a long line for this ice cream. However, they choose him out of everybody in this long line. They choose him to mess with. So they go grab the money he has in his hand, and then they sneak in, grab the wallet that's in his jacket, and they take off. The girlfriend leaves, and he takes his daughter to his house. He has a Latina maid, a Latin female. She's getting dinner prepared, blah blah blah, whatever, at his place. When they show up, he gets hit in the back of the head, and he goes down. He's knocked out, but he sees who it is, and he sees what they've done to the maid. His license was in the wallet, so they went to his place, and they basically beat, torture, and raped the shit out of the maid. They were all taking turns on her. And she's pretty much kaput when they show up. They kidnap his daughter after they knock him out. Later finds out that his daughter was raped again, and that she jumped out of the window to run from him and killed herself by jumping on this fence with spikes. It killed her. So one by one, he starts hunting down these thugs. And again, before they were famous, Lawrence Fishburne is one of the thugs. He's really young. He's wearing these crazy pointed glasses that just look stupid and retarded. But yeah, kind of shocked me. Lawrence Fishburne was in this, before he was famous. He's one of the thugs. Maybe you can catch him in it as well, see him. Anyways, he basically lies to, since he's in LA, he lies to the LA detective and tells him that he couldn't see him. He really didn't get a good look at him because they knocked him out from behind. But eventually he starts hunting them down one by one. He's back to his old ways and killing them. Now the LA detective had heard stories about a vigilante in New York, so he calls New York, and they send down, of course, Vincent to help with the case. But they both pretty much got an idea who it is. And Vincent goes and starts following Charles Bronson around. And while Charles Bronson is following a couple of these thugs, he sees him doing or buying guns or whatever with a few other dudes, and Vincent and Charles getting a big old shootout with these guys. They pretty much kill all of them but one, the main guy of the group who kidnapped his daughter and broke into his house. But the cop, he gets killed, and he tells Charles Bronson before he dies to go get his ass. Well, just before that, he had a little talk. The New York cop had a talk with his girlfriend, told him that he was a vigilante, he was going around killing people, and even though she knows these people are bad and they deserved it or whatever, and even after she saw the aftermath of what they did to the maid, she saw it. She couldn't handle it, the fact that he was going around and getting revenge. So she leaves him towards the end. It's pretty fucked up. But anyways, Charles Bronson, they eventually, they eventually catch this guy. The police do, the LAPD, for killing the New York cop. But before he could stand trial, he was doped up really bad. He was acting all psycho. It took several of them to take him down. So they put him in a mental ward to figure out, you know, if he's stable enough or sane enough to go to trial. Charles Bronson pretends to be a doctor, and he goes in there and kills the guy. Now, the orderly that let him in, he figures out who he is, and Charles Bronson tells him, you know, he killed my daughter, and the orderly says, I'm going to give you a head start. I know, I read all about it. You got so much time, and then, you know, I'm going to hit the alarm. So Charles Bronson, he jumps up and gets the hell out of there. He then cleans himself up, goes straight back to work like nothing's going on, you know. His girlfriend leaves, blah blah blah, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. He's back at work, you know. That's it, you know, he's done. It was alright. It wasn't a bad movie for what it was, you know. It was pretty decent. I give it 2 thumbs up again. Both movies, 2 thumbs up. They're both really good movies. I suggest you check them out. I will be checking out the other ones later on. Anyways, that's all I got for you this week. Until next week, I want to wish all you guys that are watching my channel to have a great weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family time, and if you have any comments or suggestions of movies I might have missed, some gems, please leave them down in the comments below. I hope you understand that you know, I'm just your average Joe. I'm not one of these super criticals or super YouTubers, you know, or just putting out crap all the time that just makes no sense. I'm just being honest and realistic with you guys, and hopefully you can help me grow my channel. Anyways, I'll see you next time, next week, and I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.